Hello and welcome back to another Patreon Q&A where I answer my patrons' questions. In this video, you do have to be a Patreon subscriber to ask a question, but if you're not, feel free to ask a question in the comments of this video and I'll try my best to answer it down there. The first question is from Minimme Prefers Shorter Patreon names. Where is the Q&A Minimme? Which is a question because this video is super late. It's over a month late. And if you've been following me on social media or on Patreon, you'll know that I had to take a break, or I took a break from YouTubing. I was sort of like running on empty for a really long time, and I kind of needed to get away, and this video was a casualty of me doing that. But it's finally here, and I guess the changes I want to make is, normally I did these Q&As every 2 months, and now I want to do them every 3 months, which is a slight change. But I feel like with the reliving videos coming out, that kind of makes up for the gaps in content. And I do know that people are starting to struggle to think of questions to ask, which sort of implies that these are too frequent. So I do want to space them out more. And for my sake, I often consider these Q&A videos to sort of be in the backlog of what I need to be doing. I don't prioritize making them. So I think if they were less frequent, I'd think they were more important to make, and I'd like making them more. So yeah, that's the general gist of what's going on. Next question, Antonio Phillips, favorite console to collect for? So at the moment, I'm actually downsizing my collection heaps. I'm sort of trying to sell as many games as possible because I feel like having a bunch of these games in my collection that I pretty much know I'm never gonna boot up again in my life, I may as well sell those. I'm not going for any like collection world record, but I still haven't sold any PS2 games because collecting PS2 games is my favorite console to collect for, because the library for it is just so vast and weird, and I'm constantly discovering new games on it that are just right up my alley in terms of how does this exist. Like there's that one where you're fighting that girl in a bikini, giant girl in a bikini who's stomping on a city. It's amazing. Adam Davison, worst game you've ever played / most disappointing. Love your videos, tons of support from Canada. Thank you. The worst game I've ever played is really hard because, like, when a game's really bad, I just give up after a few minutes and just forget it entirely. There is one that comes to mind on PS2 called Trigger Man, which was just this awful third-person shooter that was basically like as unfinished as a game gets. Some of the 3D GBA games were kind of rough. I guess for a game I did play a lot of that was really bad was The Witcher Mobile, which I did a video on a while back. That was terrible. As far as most disappointing goes, back when Hitman Absolution seemed like it was gonna be the last Hitman, that was a real bummer because it just didn't sort of capture the magic of what Hitman was. And similarly, Saints Row 3, I think, took Saints Row and just sort of ruined it a bit, or I didn't see the new direction it went in. I actually kind of appreciate, but I think what they had going on in Saints Row 1 and 2 had such a surprising amount of heart to it that they sort of took away or stripped away by being a complete stupid parody. But it worked out for them because Saints Row 3 sold way more copies, so, you know, can't blame them. Evil Chicken, which console has the best controller? I would have said GameCube back in the day, but GameCube, the joysticks are, I mean, the D-pad is a bit weird, and there is one less button than all the other controllers, which annoys me. And I think the 360 controller is actually maybe the most comfy, but also it has a horrible D-pad, and its battery pack is just shocking. I don't know, man, controllers suck. The one I use the most at the moment is the PS4 controller because I own one. I'm thinking of buying a Xbox Elite controller soon sometime, but yeah, I don't know, man. Dominic Chikoki, do you do any escape rooms? Do you think they're like video games? I still haven't done an escape room. I think I'm really late to that boat. I've almost done them a few times, but you know, I don't know. Trixie Emerson, what video game reviewers do you think could beat you? Or do you think you could beat in a one-on-one, no-rules fist fight? I'm looking at the golden bolt here. If you're listening, let's do it. On a more serious note, what are some playground video game mysteries you remember looking for as a kid? I remember, so I played a lot of Pokemon. I played a lot of Pokemon Ruby as a kid, and there was a rumor that if you talk to this one lady enough, or eventually she would randomly say that you can go to the moon and fly up to the moon in a rocket, because there was a rocket, there was like a space station in the game, you could see your rocket, and there was always a myth that you could catch that rocket to the moon and find Jirachi, the Pokemon. And when I found out that wasn't true, which was a lot later in life, I was very disappointed. What are your thoughts on Heat and Collateral? What do you like about these movies? I absolutely love Collateral. Collateral is one of my favorite movies, and I know it isn't quite as revered as Heat, but I very much prefer Collateral to Heat. I love the digital grain. I love sort of the random philosophy that it infuses into itself, and sort of the messages that it has. I love the performances. Tom Cruise is probably at his best in this. It's one of his most interesting and sort of out of left of field roles, I guess you could say. I love the humor in it too. Like, it's just everything about it. I love just the hyper-real setting, the seascapes, amazing. And I similarly like Heat. I probably appreciate Heat a little bit more than I enjoy it, but I still quite like it. Collateral, I feel like I can watch over and over again. Heat, I don't, but I still quite like how it sort of fleshes out all its characters so much. And of course, the sort of way it's shot is just amazing, and the performances are amazing. They're both just great movies. And I want to throw in Miami Vice into this 3 movies by micromme, because Miami Vice, I feel like, takes what Collateral did and just goes really hard on like the aesthetic side of it, and I just kind of love it. It's a cool movie. Ritalin for Kids, Come Hockey Dad Drive-In gig, July 31st. That's how late this video is, but that gig didn't happen, so rest in peace, they've delayed it. How much wood, Nicholas Wilson, how much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? I think I got that right on the first time. I'm impressed with myself. Smoothie. Mini-me prefers shorter Patreon names. Why is helium-4 a superfluid when cooled below 2.17 Kelvin? Can you please cover the main theories and cite your source properly using Harvard referencing? So I really wanted to like pretend I was smart and answer this properly, so I like Googled it and tried to study it. And a superfluid is apparently like a thing that rolls off any surface and goes through very fine pores, and it's frictionless. It sounds like this really cool thing, and like gyroscopes use them and they can dissolve other chemical species, whatever that means. But then I tried to read the theories, which is what this question's asking, and I couldn't do it. I'm not scientific at all. Mini-me prefers shorter Patreon names also asks, do you and a Jolly Wankor sound similar, or do I just think all Australians sound the same? I listened to a Jolly Wankor, I have no idea who he is, but I listened to a bit of him, and at first I thought he was British, and I was about to get really angry because I was like, everyone thinks I'm British, this meme is being continued. But the more I listen to him, yeah, I do sound a bit like it, but not really, I would say. I think that you think that all Aussies sound the same, and I'm offended. Mini-me prefers shorter Patreon names. Why do you keep asking people for feet pics in their Discord DMs? Sometimes I think I never should have joked about feet all those years ago. Lockie the French dude, can you speak French? Bonjour, sacre bleu. No, I can't speak French. That's it. And that's it. That's the questions. So thank you for sending me questions. Thank you for sticking around. Sorry this video is so late. Yeah, hope you all been well, and I'll see you soon. Take it easy. Bye.